Si je vous dis viande froide et femme fragile dans la même phrase, ça peut sonner un peu misogyne. Mais croyez-moi, c'est tout le contraire. Bonjour à tous et cette semaine, j'ai vu Cold Meat, viande froide. Et à cette occasion, j'ai reçu l'actrice principale du film, la badass, l'incroyable Nina Bergman pour ce petit thriller en huis clos réalisé par le Frenchie Sébastien Drouin qui a bossé notamment sur les effets visuels et les effets spéciaux de gros films tels que Alexandre d'Oliver Stone ou encore X-Men First Class de Matthew Vaughn. Et donc, sans plus tarder, je vous invite à découvrir cet entretien cool en charmante compagnie. Mais avant tout, n'oubliez pas de mettre un petit pouce sous cette vidéo et de vous abonner. Quant à moi, je vous dis à très vite dans un nouvel épisode de J'ai vu.
Hi, my name is Nina Bergman and you're watching John Ali TV.
Nina,
Yes.
like I said, I'm very glad to have you on because I watched your movie for a while now. Like you were
Yes.
in Doom Annihilation, in Hell Hath No Fury, directed by Jesse V. Johnson. And actually, I had Jesse on the show. I love him.
No way.
Yeah, great guy for one of his last movie, One Ranger, you know? And
Yes.
yeah, he's one of the kind. And we since then we'd stay in touch and just like following his career for years. And I loved his movie with you. You was such a badass in it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Back in 21, right?
Yes, that's when we shot it. Yes. And then I just did another one of his Chief of Station.
Chief of
coming
Station.
out
That's right.
in May. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just before we start talking about movies, no. You're not just a badass actress. You're also a singer, and I'm a musician and singer too. So tell me about this other aspect of your career. I want to know everything. Yeah.
You want to know everything? Okay.
Oh, just a little bit, but how you switch?
I've been doing both most of my life. And, I went to musical theater school in New York. I started as a ballerina and then I sang my whole life. I started singing with my grandparents. And when I was a little girl, I started performing at 4 years old. And then I went to musical theater school in New York because at the time I was a boxer to support myself for college. So I started listening to harder music. And at that time, that really related. So then I started singing in all these underground bands. And before you knew it, the band that I had started doing really well. And we got a big record deal with Warner Brothers. And then I started touring. And that's when I couldn't do both. I couldn't do the acting and the music.
Yeah, that's amazing. You have a great voice. And I was like, because I didn't know. It just, doing some research about your movies. And I said, she's a singer. I love it. So I am too. So that's why I wanted to know. Come back with Cold Meat, from Sébastien Drouin. He's a French director,
Yeah.
Good one.
He's,
and
he's I mean, very French in the sense he knew everything. He had everything, he had that movie for 10 years. So he knew every shot. He knew everything was thought through. And, he had such a different vision and way of working than, because of that European way of thinking, I think. Very artistic, which I like.
Yeah. Love it too.
Yeah.
And Cold Meat is a survival thriller. I love the title, Cold Meat. You can feel the horror, and the location looks pretty, cold too in the movie. It looks like most of it was filmed outside. Tell me about, I guess the freezing condition. Obviously it was cold.
It was, but Sebastian, he comes from a special effects background.
Yeah.
He worked for some of, the greatest directors from Oliver Stone to a whole bunch of them. So he made it a little colder than it was. There was no snow and wind.
There was no snow?
No.
Oh, he got me.
He's one of the best, he's one of the best. Yes. So he's so good that you don't even see it. But it was freezing. I mean, it was freezing cold. I was supposed to wear stockings because I work as a waitress, and you're supposed to wear like a waitress outfit and then the nylon stockings, and I couldn't wear them because they would freeze into my legs.
And I love, the first twist, if I can say, like David Scar is stuck in the blizzard and you're stuck
Yes.
in the trunk, and then start the movie. And
Yes.
tell me about your character, Anna. She's a waitress, has a daughter, abusive husband, like not badass. She's a victim. Tell me about maybe the approach you had with her, less physical, how many say that? Like less physical, more psychological,
Yes. Yes. Like this was harder for me because the physical stuff is a lot easier for me because I'm started as a ballerina, right? So I feel everything physically. Like even when I would write my songs, I would like dance the songs out and I would move and I would make my voice follow my movements. Like everything comes from physical. If I get a character, the first thing is like, how does she walk? How does she sit? How does she stand? I have a very physical approach to my craft, but with Anna, all of a sudden, that didn't really work. I mean, yeah, she stands, she sits different. She's a little, she talks different. She's a lot more timid. But what I had to do was, it was all, mental. I had to go back to a place. I left Denmark when I was a very young girl because I felt stifled and stuck. And, I had kind of wild childhood, so I was very shy. I was very kind of beaten down, shy, and didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I had I remember a year in high school where I didn't go to school because I just felt so different and ugly and
ugly. No way.
Yeah. I had braces. I had the braces,
Me too.
Around.
And look at us.
Glasses, and I was a ballerina. I had 2 moms, which was not cool at the time. Oh wow, I'm getting balloons now.
Special effect, I know. I don't know what it is.
Was that Sebastian that just came in?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I see watching. But so it was. I had to go back to how I used to feel.
Yeah.
But I just felt trapped, and I felt like a victim, and I felt I didn't have any choices. And it's just so for me it was kind of a hard movie to do because it was hard to live there. I worked so hard to get out of that space. And that was Anna. That's where she lived, in that space. So it was a lot of spending a lot of time with myself, eating a lot of crappy food. I put on a lot of weight. You can't tell because I'm wearing so much clothes. I didn't, the whole time while we were shooting, I didn't really socialize. I just kind of stayed in my little bubble of Anna, that's how I had to approach her.
Oh, that's, that's pretty intense what you just said, your life back in Denmark. What was the most, maybe challenging moment filming in those conditions? But obviously there was no snow. Okay, thank you, Sebastian. Now I know it. But what was the most, maybe the thing about, your background, maybe, or because it was not like physical, like we said, but what was the most challenging part? Because that's a movie who a lot of the time we are in the car, like close up, with the character, and we know about them and their background. Tell me about it.
I don't know, the most challenging part, I'm thinking probably, staying in it, so to speak. Because, me, Nina Bergman, would do things very differently if I was in that situation, right? And,
I'm sure.
And it was so uncomfortable because Anna is so uncomfortable. I was like crawling out of my skin, and I have to survive because I got to get back to my daughter, which is number one, right? I need to get back to it's my main objective of this whole movie. I need to survive so I can get back to my daughter. Right. I think that's where Anna gets her strength from. She needs to get back to her daughter. I remember I felt like like a little feverish and sick. And, Alan's character, I mentioned this before, is based after 2 real characters. So a lot of the dialogue
that's based on real events.
Yeah,
I didn't know that too.
Yeah, and
that's more. Now you say that it feels so real. Those kind of things can happen. It happened.
Most of it did.
Happened.
Yeah, it did. So, and I saw the characters being interviewed in prison. and I saw them sitting like Alan, and they were so proud of their accomplishment. I mean, it was so like sickening to sit and watch these videos, and I thought Alan did a really good job at, it's that something is missing in the DNA. Like they don't have empathy. They don't. Yeah, they're missing something. Something went wrong.
No humanity at all. Yeah,
the humanity. Yeah, it just got lost.
Of course, and you brought Alan. How it was to work with Alan Leitch, and you only shot in 13 days. That's right.
13 days. Yeah,
that's amazing. How it was to work with it.
Well, he's amazing because he's, he's seasoned, he's professional. He's, he was doing this for the same reason as me. It felt like a play, and I come from the theater background, and he was ready to like rehearse and play and really go there and do the best that he could, So it was a lot of fun. And then a lot of times with actors, there's like a chemistry, just to see if you click. And we were very lucky that way. I looked at him and he looked at me, and we were both like, I was like, this is going to work. He
had this look, in his eyes, and it's very like frightening, like he caught the character very right. And you too there. There's some, aspect like fantastic, can I say fantastic aspect, like the legend, at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
In some way happen at the ending, and there's like an actual, creature, demon, in the blizzard, and I was like, oh, what the fuck! I love it. I love this aspect of the movie. It was, I guess, now I know it is special effect and no practical for this kind of thing. But I love how it turns at the end, like. You can say that there's an actual demon or there's not at all, and you survive, and the makeup is great, and there's like how many say that, with the hands on the
windshield.
Yes. It was I'm looking at the thing or something like this. I love it. Tell me about this legend you tell at the beginning.
Yeah, well, it's Indian legend.
Yeah.
And I talk about it in the voiceover in the beginning, and if your soul is condemned, like David's soul is so dark, it will come and take you. And, so that kind of is throughout the whole movie. And, a lot of people ask, is it real? Is it not real? I mean, the director was not going to have the legend in there in the beginning, but he's very French, so he wanted it very abstract. But I think he felt that people needed something, so he made it almost elusive. See it but not really, and is it really there or is it in the imagination?
I love the design and everything, and that's a good thing he had it in the movie.
That's a good thing. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to actually see more of it.
Of course, because we want to be entertaining. We love. Myself, I love fantastic thing, but the thing is that when it's like just like salted just a little bit in the movie, it's also good. I was about to call you Anna. That's why, because I just watched the movie. Nina, I'm sorry, Nina. What is next for you? What is? I'm sure you have a lot of things.
Yes,
Tell me about it.
So I have
things you can say. Only.
Yes. So Jesse Johnson's movie Chief of Station is coming out in May with Aaron Eckhart. So it's fun action. I play a very different character. Very different.
I'm sure about it. Knowing Jesse, I'm sure you're gonna kick some ass.
No, I mean, yes. I mean, she's pretty. She's badass. It's a smaller part. I was working on something else, so I came out. I went to Budapest, just shot it, and then I had to come back. So I'm just glad that I'm in it. But that movie, I think, is going to be fun.
Good.
And then I am working on I'm working on two, but I'm working on one. This first quarter we're about to start. But I can't.
You can't.
Until they make an announcement.
Right. No.
And then I'm up for another one, a period piece. So because everything got pushed because of the strike. So I
Yeah.
had 3 projects and everything got pushed. So it's like everything is like the period piece, they lost their actor. Now there's another one. So I guess we have to do a test or see if I fit with the other actor because it's very important in this particular part. You know, he's a big star and it's very important. They,
You will.
you know, have another big star now. If they fit, he has the final say so. So I go in April to see if we'll fit. And if we'll fit, I'm the luckiest girl on the planet. If there's no chemistry, it's that thing, you know, you just don't know.
I have a good feelings. I love your voice, the way you speak. Everything sounds, because you know I'm a musician and I'm like, I love the sound of your voice. There's something in the tone. I just love it. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. I don't know why, but
Thank you. I'm super sensitive to voices too. I mean,
Yeah.
my opera teacher, and I did opera for a long time. And my opera teacher believes that most divorces happen because of the female voice. Because if your spouse, if they talk like this and they're like, "Oh my God, why did you do this?" That nasal sound, like, you know what I mean? That is the reason why people are divorced. And I have to agree. I think he has a good point.
that's a good
I think voices are very important.
very, very.
And I also saw you had Peter Stormare, a friend of mine, on.
Oh, Peter, he was.
Yeah, I did a movie with Peter. We were in a stranded in Utah for 6 weeks. We play the same character. Me and Peter are the same character.
Oh,
So I
that's
was stuck with him for 6 weeks in Utah.
I need to watch this movie. I love Peter. He's amazing.
My favorite. Yeah.
We spend because Peter and I spend an hour, talking. But what he said for half an hour, I couldn't make the cut, because it was too much political, personal. But I loved it because he felt comfortable and we talked. And he's amazing. I just love him. I love this guy so much.
I had him the first thing I ever did with Jesse Johnson was a Wonder Woman short where I played Wonder Woman before Wonder Woman was out. That was Jesse and I did. So I played Jesse Johnson's Wonder Woman and I got Peter Stormare to be in it and be a SS officer. And the next project I'm in, I put him on the list as my first choice. So I am praying that they're gonna make an offer to him that because he's one of my favorites.
He's amazing.
Favorites. He's amazing.
He is. Oh, Peter. I'm gonna send him the picture.
Yeah, dude, do that.
Both of us. Nina, thank you again for your time. I wish you the best because you deserve it. And you're so lovely and so friendly, and I love it.
Aww.
And thank you, Florent, for all these things. And you'll be back on the show. We stay in touch.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.